will relax into gratitude. So let's just take a moment to get settled, to get prepared for our meditation as we clear our minds of anything and everything that does not belong in this present moment. As we begin to relax, relaxing into the feeling of gratitude. So we sit in our chairs, sit in our seats, feeling our bodies supported by our chairs, sitting on our sit bones, as we know that there is nothing for us to do in this moment but to be here now. And so we begin to relax down into gratitude, breathing in gratitude, breathing out everything that is not that. Breathing in gratitude, out everything that is not that. As we count down from 10, breathing in gratitude, breathing out all that is not that. 9, breathing in gratitude, breathing out all that is not that. 8, breathing in gratitude, because we know when we are in a state of gratitude, we are in flow with the natural rhythms of life. We are in flow with all that is. Breathing in gratitude. Breathing out all that is not that. 7, breathing in gratitude, more deeply relaxed. Breathing out all that is not that. 6, breathing in gratitude, feeling more relaxed. Breathing out all that is not that. 5, breathing in gratitude. Breathing out all that is not that. 4, feeling more relaxed, breathing in gratitude. Breathing out all that is not that. 3, more relaxed, breathing in gratitude. Breathing out all that is not that. 2, more relaxed, breathing in gratitude. Breathing out all that is not that. 1, fully relaxed, simmering deeply in gratitude as we go into our meditation. Enjoy your meditation. Staying in this space for just a few moments longer as we count back up into present moment awareness. 1, 2, 3, becoming more aware. 4, feeling your body. 5, feeling your feet on the ground, becoming grounded into your present moment awareness. 6, more aware. 7, feeling more refreshed, more awake, more alert. 8, 9, 10, fully back into present moment awareness as you listen to today's service and get the message that you came here to hear today. We are so grateful that you are here. Namaste. Enjoy the service.
Yes.
All the colors of the rainbow, all the voices in the wind, every dream that reaches out to find where love begins. Every word of every story, every star in every sky, every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. From the mountains to the valley, from the rivers to the sea, every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, and every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, all the hope in every heart speaks what love has done. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify. I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, and be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify. I will testify love.
Woo!
Thank you, Ascension. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Welcome to the Amani Center. I'm Reverend Belinda, and I'm so happy to see all of your bright, shining faces this morning, and to all of you in Facebook land, internet land. Anyway, so who we are, who is the Amani Center, and what are we about? Well, this is our vision statement, and it actually says it very clearly, that we are an inclusive spiritual community dedicated to raising consciousness and transforming lives.
We're having microphone trouble, so.
All right, it's on.
It's something else is going on. I don't know, did the transmitter get turned off the other night? Just standing.
Thank you. Okay, that should do it. And let's do this again. Maybe this time we'll say it together. How about that? Can you join me? Yes, we are an inclusive spiritual community dedicated to raising consciousness and transforming lives. That's a big statement. And we do that by classes, workshops, Sunday service, and it is the guiding principle for the board, for every decision that's made here, everything that we do. So I really feel blessed by this statement, knowing that it is the truth, and we do everything to fulfill that promise. So if you're here for the first time today in internet land or in joining us, there's a gorgeous patio outside. You can sit back and hear the birds and hear us all at the same time. One of the things that we want to welcome you have you to know about us is that we offer prayer work. We have a group of individuals that have gone through 4 years of classes, from year 1, 2, 3, and then in what's called a practitioner year, where we really hone our skills on knowing the truth of your being, and we do that through what's called affirmative prayer. So our group is called the Circle of Light, and they want you to know that they're available for each and every one of you. If there's something you want to manifest in your life or something that you would like to let go of that would also enhance your life, please, there's several ways that you can get a hold of us. You could reach out today on Facebook. Even in the chat column, you'd say, hey, I would like a practitioner to call me. Leave some information there, or admin@theamanicenter.org. Or call us, 530-677-2300, and we would be happy to pray with you. And if you're new today, please just leave us a message, and we can send out some more information about us, make sure that you know about upcoming events. So we would love for you to join us and make this your home, your spiritual home. So I'm going to bring up Marcy to tell us about all the ways, workshops, and classes that you can participate in.
Is this working now? Okay. Thank you, Chris, for fixing the microphone. Okay, good morning, Amani. I just want to take a few moments and go through our announcements. So here is our schedule for the month of May. And so you are very fortunate to be here on the 16th when we have the wonderful Mitch Austin speaking. And next week we have David Clark, another ministerial intern in our speaking circuit, another favorite at Amani. And then the final, we have 5 Sundays in May, which is always fun for us because we get to bring another person to speak, and that is going to be our special guest artist, Amy Steinberg. And she leads the, I think it's called Holler, House of Light and Love in Oregon. She's an amazing, beautiful singer and speaker. I'm very excited to bring her to Amani, so don't miss that one. That will be a live stream only. That's Memorial Day weekend, and so a lot of us are going to be out of town. So we're not going to be opening the center up to watch in person, so just watch from home or from the beach or wherever you've got your phone or your iPad and enjoy it virtually. Okay, this class just began on Thursday. You can still jump in. We even have a recording for the first class for anyone who missed it. The Power of Now, led by Reverend Pixie DeFore. Amazing book, amazing class. We've got a good group. Like I said, still can jump in. Kristen is probably dropping a link for that right now. So if you feel at all called to join this class, please do so. And we are beginning our Let's Talk About Social Justice group again. So we'll be focused on racism this time. We're going to be focused on Ibram X. Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist book, which is an amazing book. And for a long time, you couldn't even get them. They weren't available, so they're in. You can order it on Amazon or find it at your local bookstore. Kristen Scott and I will be sort of facilitating this group. We're going to be meeting 11 o'clock on Wednesdays. So trying to daytime class out. We're doing it via Zoom, and I hope you'll join us. It's just a free discussion group just to do this work for social change right now and be a part of the solution. And we have our drive-through pet blessing next Saturday. So you can load your car up with all of your animals and drive through the parking lot, and we'll have practitioners, members of our Circle of Light, ministers, who will come out and bless your car as you come through. Or if you rather have a more personal experience, you can just bring them onto the patio, and it's going to be a lovely day. So that is from 12 to noon next Saturday. And we have a really great workshop coming up presented by our wonderful Sonia Peterson on how to make candles. And so she's going to be, do you want to talk about this, Sonia? She does not. This is going to be hands-on. So she's going to bring all the supplies you need, and you'll be able to make two candles, total of 16 ounces. They're soy-based, they're all natural, and she's very picky about all the products. I know she did a lot of testing, and I've been enjoying her beautiful candles. If you would like to learn how to do this and have a good time, she's going to have some food and drink. It will be here in the gathering space on June 5th at 1 o'clock, probably be a couple hours, $35 to join that. And we don't have a link for it yet. We'll set it up this week, so you'll be able to sign up starting next week. So double hit that forward arrow. I learned how to do, I learned how to, there we go. I learned how to do videos on Canva this week, so you're going to see a little bit more of this. I had a good time. So, okay, so we are ready to bring the kids back, or plan for bringing the kids back. So, 2020, the pandemic, the great pause, it has been a very interesting time for everyone, but I think that most of us agree this has been especially challenging for kids and teens. The isolation, the utter loss of their normal schedule and meeting with their friends and being in school. So we really are looking to transform our program and do something really special and wonderful that the kids will love, that the teens will love. So what we're starting with is a sort of a brainstorm meeting, a chance to collaborate. If you've got something to share here, if you've got kids and you just want to bring your ideas, if you've got some special skills or talents, we would love to have you at this meeting, June 13th here at the center at noon. We'll probably have a Zoom option too if you're not able to be here, but just would love to have your input and your ideas as we really try to create something special that is going to really serve our kids and teens. Okay, the Amani Summer Solstice Ritual will be in June on the 20th at 5 p.m. So that is a Sunday, and it is Father's Day, but that is the day the solstice is, so we are staying true to that day. So do your Father's Day stuff in the morning, or make this part of your Father's Day celebration, and Kristen Scott and Reverend Pixie DeFore do an amazing job of bringing these rituals, and they're just lovely. If you haven't been to one, then please join us on the patio. And then, we had some new guidance this week from the CDC and from our president. The board has not had a chance to meet and discuss how this will affect our policies here. So until that meeting, which will probably take place this week, we just appreciate you still wearing your mask when you're inside. And there'll be likely some further guidance coming on that. And I think that's it. So I want to have Reverend Belinda come back up and do the blessing.
All right, so if you would sit upright in your chairs, and with intention, we want to bless the service today. So if you close your eyes, maybe gaze upward at that point of light between the eyebrows, and gaze deeply there. The seat of the soul, the seat of the divine that is in us and as us and through us. We are one with this divine energy and divine light. And knowing this, we bless the service today, knowing that when two are gathered, the divine always shows up in power, in force, as the source. So we know this service today blesses everyone out there in the internet land, here, on the patio, inside, every person that's participating today in this service or participates in the future is blessed and uplifted by what everyone brings, by sharing that divine nature within us. So we shine our light bright, blessing this service, all those that join us, with a grateful heart for the Amani Center, who provides this space, this communion together. So we release it and let it go, knowing it does uplift everyone. Even as we go out into our lives today, by our uplifted vibration, we lift others, we lift the planet. Knowing this, we release it and let it go and let it be, as we say together, and so it is.
Okay, now it is time for our affirmation. So that is up on your screen if you're at home. We will say it 3 times together. Actually, we'll say it 2 times together. First time we say it in a strong voice. The second time we speak it in a whisper. The third time, just join me mentally as I speak it aloud, and you just take it internally. Today's affirmation is brought to us by ministerial intern Mitch Austin. Please stand so we can say it together. When disruption shows up, I look for and embrace the lessons and the blessing it is bringing forth. When disruption shows up, I look for and embrace the lesson and the blessing it is bringing forth. When disruption shows up, I look for and embrace the lesson and the blessing it is bringing forth. And together we say, and so it is. And now we have some music from Ascension for our meditation.
Took my love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around. And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within this heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Oh, I don't know. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yeah, I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yeah, I'm getting older too. Take my love, take it down. If you climb a mountain and you turn around, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide bring it down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, well, the landslide will bring it down.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. So let's take this beautiful energy, that beautiful song, and take it inward, if you'll join me for meditation. And sitting upright in your chairs, feet flat on the floor. If you would like, you could put your hands in your lap with your palms turned upward so that you're open and receptive. Shoulders rolled back so your heart is open and receptive. Then with your eyes closed, gazing gently upward, again at that point of light, the light of the divine in you and as you. We begin to just notice our breath and slow it down. Just a slow inhalation, filling our lungs, and then a slow, easy exhalation all the way out. Again, inhale, filling up, and now gently letting go. And one more time. Inhale, all the way, and now letting go, all the way out. Relaxing into your chair. So we feel that chair supporting us. We're safe, we're supported. Knowing that the universe is all around us, above us and below us, to the left and right, front and back. We are surrounded with this beautiful universe of light, love, and energy. And we now allow this vibration to enter through the pores of our feet, up through our ankles and our shins, into our knees, thighs, and hips, filling our pelvic bowl with light, love, energy. And now we move that energy up our spine, into our torso, into our lungs, into our shoulders, and down our arms, into our hands and fingers. Back up into the shoulders and now into the neck, into the face, mouth, nose, eyes. Even notice this energy dissolving the tenseness behind the eyes, to the forehead, top of the head, and back of the head. And now that we are immersed in this energy of love, light, the source, we bask in this vibration for a few moments as we go into the silence. Enjoy your meditation. Staying inward for a moment longer. Let's take this energy into a divine healing prayer. So we ask, sweet Spirit that is in us, remind us that we are whole, perfect, and well already. And that anything that appears to be contrary does not belong to us. It is not ours. And we let it go. And we know the same for all our family and friends, for each other. For we are the full expression of the divine right here, right now, as we are. Nothing needs to change. Only our knowingness of the divine, remembering ourselves, our perfection. We're grateful to know this, grateful to be reminded, and to remind each other as we are always looking into the face of the divine. So we release this and let it go, knowing the absolute truth of our being, the absolute truth of each other, that we are healed, whole, perfect, right here, right now, as we are. Thank you, sweet Spirit. And we release this and let it go, knowing it is the truth, as we say together, and so it is.
We're excited to have Mila Olson join us today, so it's a big treat for us. We're a little too excited. Trying to contain ourselves.
If you knew that you would die today, saw the face of God and love, would you change? Would you change? If you knew that love can break your heart when you're down so low you cannot fall, would you change? Would you change? How bad, how good does it need to get? How many losses, how much regret? What chain reaction, what cause and effect makes you turn around, makes you try and explain, makes you forgive and forget, makes you change? If you knew that you would be alone, being right, being wrong, would you change? Would you change? If you knew that you would find a truth that brings a pain that can't be soothed, would you change? Would you change? How long, how good does it need to get? How many losses, how much regret? What chain reaction would cause an effect? Makes you turn around, makes you try and explain, makes you forgive and forget, it makes you change.
comes to blows, are you so sure you won't be crawling? If not for the good, why risk falling? Why risk falling? If you knew that you think you know makes you be unbearable, would you change? Would you change? If you'd broken every rule and vow, and hard times come to bring you down, would you change? Would you change? If you knew that you would die today, if you saw the face of God in love, would you change? Would you change? Would you change? Would you change? If you saw the face of God in love, if you saw the face of God in love, would you change? Would you change?
Thank you. That was awesome. That's my favorite Tracy Chapman song. It's very powerful. You guys did it justice. That was gorgeous. Thank you. And so now one of my favorite speakers is here to inspire us today, soon to be a minister. And I know you work very hard. And so then to still take the time to really come and share his message, let's give him a very warm welcome. Would you bring up Mitch Austin?
Well, good morning, Amani Center. So beautiful. See people in the house, people online. We've got a lot going on. Thank you for that beautiful song, Ascension. Perfect. Perfect for today's discussion. So, Amani means love. And that's the highest value that we have here at the Amani Center. And we know that love is powerful, love is healing, love is generative. And right now we're seeing some places in the world that need our love. And so I want to invite people who feel called right now to drop into your hearts and see if we can just send a beam of love right now to the conflict that's going on in the Israeli-Palestine state, the Gaza Strip. Let's just see that beam of love enveloping the people, the hearts, the land, the nature, the ground, the earth, the trees, the water. Let's send our love, this powerful energy of love, right now, right from your heart, to every heart, there and on the planet. And I'm knowing that this love is strong, it is wise, it is healing, it is restoring wholeness and joy and harmony to every heart that needs it. Right now. No delay. Thank you so much for doing that. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. And let's keep that part of the world in our prayers for healing. Yes? Yes. Thank you. So the name of my talk is Tipping Your Spiritual Apple Carts. You ever had your spiritual apple carts tipped? You just lose all your spirituality? And what I'm really talking about is disruption, right? Disruption comes with an intention. It really comes to bring us to higher ground. But it doesn't always look or feel like that. And so I'm going to get into that a little bit more today. You know, I had some disruption. I love that we're doing the pet blessing, right? For me, my pets are like my kids. And this week, unfortunately, both of my dogs got sick. Yeah, I had to go to the animal hospital. So you'll be seeing my GoFundMe page. Both of them. And nothing is more disrupting than when your little baby is struggling, right? I mean, I would give a kidney. Like, what do you need? What do you need? Just make it better. So the first animal that got sick was Max, and he'd been struggling with his health, and I'd been taking him to a vet in Elk Grove. And so he wasn't looking good this past week on a Tuesday, so I took him down there. They said, oh, it's just his teeth. He's got an infection. Take this. I thought, great. I got out for only $98. I was pretty happy. So I give him the medicine. I go take a nap, and I get up, and he is flat on the floor, and he's thrown up, and he's in distress. And I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm calling all the vets. You know, they're like, and at this point, it's emergency vets only, and many of them won't take animals unless they're like on death's door. So I found a place in El Dorado Hills, drove them all the way out there, and the doctor calls me with a diagnosis because you have to wait in your car, and she says, you know, we found a tumor on Max's liver, and he's anemic. She said, you know, we're really looking at a hospice situation with Max. That was hard. And so I brought him home and talked to him and kind of connected with him to see where he was. Like, are you ready to go? Are you not ready to go? And the next morning he ate a little bit. I said, okay, you still want to be here. We're good. Then 2 days later, Maggie gets sick. I come home from work and she's throwing up. She's shaking. I'm like, oh no. So I have to call the animal hospital. I have to go back to El Dorado Hills. Not my usual vet. They didn't have any openings. And the doctor says, it's okay. We see this all the time. She got into some legal medicine. Sometimes recreational. And they said, oh, we see it all the time. I'm like, oh, good. I don't feel so guilty anymore. And they're like, oh, she'll be fine. But the doctor said she's a really bad ear infection, one of the worst I've seen. And see, I'd been treating her at this other vet. So she gave me this really strong medicine for Maggie, and she had a cut on her cornea that I didn't know about. So I'm sitting in the car on the second visit, and I'm thinking about this talk. My spiritual apple carts are tipped right now. My bank account is like wiped out, and I'm thinking, what is the gift? What is the higher ground that's being reached by disruption? Not one dog, two dogs. Now, I know dog spelled backwards is God. Something's trying to get my attention. And what I realized with my dogs is that maybe they weren't getting the best care at the vet in Elk Grove. That's the first revelation I had. The second thing is, without this disruption, without this emergency, I may not have known that Max's time is limited and that he had a tumor. What a gift to know that. It's hard, but it's a gift. And Maggie was finally getting the healing she really needed that she wasn't getting from the $98 vets. Right? I needed that disruption. They needed that disruption to get to higher ground, to do something different, right? And so as I was sitting there in the car, I said, well, there it is. There it is. It came to wake me up. It came to give me more information. We don't always sign up for tipping our spiritual apple carts, right? But sometimes it's necessary, even with spiritual people. That's how this talk came about, by the way. I'm working with a very heart-centered spiritual group right now that I'm leading, and they're all about service. They're all about love. But we're talking about coming together as a group, and guess what? Some apple carts got tipped, and humanists started showing up. And I'm the lead apple cart tipper because I had to speak the elephant in the room. Right? And then people started reacting. And we had to have some courageous conversations. We had to open ourselves in new ways and allow the disruption to bring up what needed to be brought up so it could be healed. So I'm going to talk about what disruption is, how and why it shows up, what we can do to support ourselves if you're going through some disruption right now, and to look for the gift, the healing. You know, Deepak Chopra, he says that every great change is preceded by chaos. And what I want to offer you is that if you're experiencing chaos right now, know that great change is coming, higher ground is coming, and that can help feed us as we move through it. Disruption, and this is the definition I'm working with, is an event or condition intended to move us from complacency to action, right? Because we're creatures of comfort. I know I am, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't rock the boat. Keep the peace. Anybody in the room? Yeah. But here's when disruption enters and our heart starts to open or break. That's when we enter the fray, right? I mean, we had people marching during a pandemic because of racial injustice, right? That disruption needed to happen, and we needed to honor it. So we rise up when there's a cause or there's a need. And sometimes we do this in our family or relationships. Anybody ever say we got to have a come to Jesus meeting? Anybody? Come to Jesus, right? Maybe you call the family meeting to talk about someone in the family that needs some care that nobody wants to take on or discuss, right? Maybe you're doing a come to Jesus with your kids. Ever have one of those? Or at work? Right? That real speak, that truth speak, that's going to rock the boat. But sometimes that boat needs to be rocked, right? Because the reason disruption happens is to bring in something new that otherwise wouldn't exist. See, I'd still be going to Elk Grove. But I need to get better care for my dogs now. They're getting older. You know, Clay Christensen, he's with the Harvard Business School, and he says, a disruption displaces the status quo and what is, and produces something new and more efficient and worthwhile. It is at once destructive and creative. Destructive and creative. So we're feeling something fall away and something come in at the same time when we have disruption show up. And we've really had that with the pandemic, yes? And now we're starting to do life differently. You know, Ernest Holmes, he talks about experiences, that all our experiences show up. And this is what he says. They show up that life will give you the experiences needed for the evolution of your consciousness. Not the evolution of your bank account. I know that one well. Not the evolution of your reputation or your status at work or how other people see you. Doesn't care about that. Life, the divine, is no respecter of anything physical that will fall away, and that includes our bodies. It is only concerned with our consciousness. Why? It's the only part of us that's eternal. It's the only part that really matters. It's the only part that keeps going. So this law of life, the divine, the wisdom, it's going to use everything in its toolbox to expand our consciousness. And sometimes that doesn't always feel great. It can show up as a disaster, pandemic, illness, endings, beginnings, shifts in relationship, innovation. Anybody ever have the Apple phone when it had the button and then the button went away? That was major disruption for me. I couldn't open my phone. It shows up as an awakening when you have a new awareness of what is. You can't go back asleep. Right? In this teaching, we know that all thoughts creative and influential, and once we have that awakening, we can't go back. We can't blame the devil. We can't blame the other person, right? We step into our power and our knowing. That awakening can be disruptive sometimes. It also shows up as, and I really want to dive in on this one, conflict. Ooh, just say the word, you feel the energy drop, right? Conflict, especially us spiritual people, right? Conflict isn't always seen as a good thing, but here's the thing. Conflict comes sometimes because sometimes things got to break before they really heal. You know, it's like sometimes you ever broke a bone and it never got set. They got to re-break it to set it right. And sometimes we need that reset. But what I know for me, and I'm a peacekeeper. Any peacekeepers in the room? I'm a peacekeeper. And what I'm going to tell you about my experience around peacekeeping, this may or may not be you, is that the reason I'm a peacekeeper is I can't stand the energy of conflict. I feel it in my body. So I've got to heal it real quick. Not for them, for me. You know, I'm at lunch and we're fighting over the lunch bill. Here's just take $20. We're all happy. You know, just put in more money, right? Or just give in. Like, I will take on the balance of the conflict in the room to keep the peace. But that's not healthy. And it's also keeping people from their healing. Here's what Cheryl Richardson said. She says, if you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. And I've started some wars inside myself. And you know what they've manifested as? Ulcers, diverticulitis, depression. That's not self-love. That's not honoring the divinity. So I have had to, and it has been my mission and my intention to get comfortable with conflict. So what happens when I set that intention? I get all kinds of opportunities. And it's been an amazing journey. But there are gifts that come from this disruption. It does not come to harm. It comes to heal. Disruption does not come to harm. It comes to heal at the highest level. And here's some of the healing that we're experiencing right now from the pandemic. People are working from home, spending more time with their kids and not on the road. That's a healing. The greenhouse gases have reduced. I've seen pictures from the satellites because we're not out driving our cars. That's a healing. Wildlife is thriving. I hear sea turtles in Florida are doing fantastic. Like they're just taking over the beach. We've got a mountain lion roaming Main Street in Colorado. I mean, they're just thriving. Our hygienic practices have stopped the spread. We didn't even have a cold season this year. Did anyone notice that? We're cooking at home. We're saving money. We're having a relationship with food that we're putting in our bodies. And before the pandemic, I don't know about you, but I hated going to the grocery store. Like nobody saw me. People would cut me off. Now it's almost like we see each other again. I mean, you know, with 6 feet barriers because, you know, but we've realized our oneness. We're starting to open up to our interdependence. That what happens to you can happen to me, and what's happening to me can happen to you. That's a healing. We need this on this planet. The world is getting smaller. And these are some of the gifts, albeit that it's been a painful journey, and there's been a price to pay, but one that had to happen. It had to. So, I love to teach through story. You know me, story's coming. I believe we move in stories, we think in stories, we live in stories. And there's two kinds of disruptions I want to unpack for you through my own journey. And it's endings and beginnings, how that can be disruptive, and conflict. So there was a very disruptive portion of my life. Disruptive on a level I never knew could exist in my life journey until, well, I had to take it on. So a fun fact about me, it might be a disruptive fact for you. Some of you know and some of you don't. So I was born as Michelle. I was assigned the gender of female, and I transitioned my gender about 10 years ago to Mitch and male. So I am a transgender man. I say that and I pause because now people are catching up with what I'm going to say next. So that journey to transition was very disruptive for me. Prior to my transition, I was a very private person. I would never be up here. Never. You would never see me because you'd be looking at something that wasn't me, and I couldn't be up here doing that. And it held me back in so many areas of my life. And what I know is when you're out of integrity in one area of your life, it's easy to be out of integrity with all the other ones. And I was. And I got to the point where I very clearly understood, and had a very disruptive event happen. Somebody broke my heart. She said, I would marry you in a heartbeat if you were a man. And what I realized at that painful moment is I wasn't seen. That nothing in my life was going to work until I could let the world see me. Not my work life, not my relationship life, not my relationship with myself, my family, nobody. Nobody. So I made the decision to end my life as Michelle and begin my life as Mitch. Now, what I would say about that, there's no handbook, there's no roadmap, there's no 7 steps to transitioning your gender. God, I wish there was. And sometimes it wasn't elegant or graceful. But what I was really grateful at this time is I was going through my spiritual journey. I was learning how to partner with a power for good. That I could work with that I could trust it to support me through anything, even this. And at the time, I was in a class and at my church, 10-week class. So I started as Michelle and I was transitioning through. My hair got shorter, some things changed. And I kept thinking and I kept conversing with Spirit like, okay, how do I let people know? Like, do you put it in the church bulletin? What do you do? And I kept getting from Spirit, just be organic. Just let it unfold. Just let it unfold. So at the end of this 10-week class, right, people started referring to me to Mitch. They didn't know why. They thought it was a nickname. And at the end of class, we do a sharing at the last day of class. We share our experience. We share love with each other, right? And the teacher knew my story. She knew what was going on. And at the last class, she used a male pronoun with me. Yeah. Wow. Everybody focused right in on me. And everyone went, oh. And I'm sitting there. And then the first woman goes to share and she goes, I am so glad to hear that you are transitioning. I was wondering about my sexuality. I thought you were attractive. I'm a straight woman. I didn't know what was going on. Then a gay man professes he has a crush on me. And another woman does. And it unfolded in such a beautiful, kind, affirming way that I could never make happen. But this partnership with the divine can and does when we trust it, when we follow it, and we let it support us along our way. And what I can tell you is that I had such deep gratitude for that experience and so many other experiences like that caught me by surprise, where people showed up just to give me support and love. People I barely knew. All of a sudden, I'm here for you. I'm like, great. Your name again? But it wasn't without conflict. It wasn't without conflict. At work, oh, that was a journey. At work, there was, after they told everyone, because they had to tell everybody. They had to. I'm going to be using the men's bathroom. You have to say something, right? So then there was a group of employees who had to meet with HR because they wanted to talk about their rights. Not sure how this is taking away your rights, but okay. And then there were the people that started to treat me different. Like I'd walk down the hallway, someone I knew that we'd normally like just chit chat with is all the way on the other side of the hallway, as if this is catching, you know, and very uncomfortably walking by, you know. A lot of that. Some of the worst conflict I got was not from the straight community. It was from the LGBT community. Specifically, some gay men would joke in really demeaning ways. And even worse, the lesbian community that I used to be a part of refused to use my pronouns, refused to use my name, and talked about how it wasn't a real thing to transition. painful on a level I can't even describe to you. But what supported me through that was the power of community. One community I used to go for sanctuary, now I went to a different one. My spiritual community, my family, support groups. What I know is that the unity and community can carry us through anything. Anything. And that's what we have right here at the Amani Center. Now you might be wondering about the gift. The gift. Well, what I can tell you is I'm a much more resilient person. Really, just throw anything at me. I mean, after that, it's just really, there isn't much left to be resistant to. And I have a greater relationship with the divine, a deeper trust and self-integrity. And I could finally be myself. You can see me now. Imagine going 40 years and nobody sees you. I remember I was at a bunco party as Michelle, and the women were complaining about their boyfriends, all the terrible habits. I did them all. I did every one of them. I'm like, I did, yes. But that wasn't the biggest gift. The biggest gift was my renewed trust and faith in people. I didn't trust people. Sorry. I kept everybody like this all the time. I wanted to let people in. I didn't know how. Like, what were you going to see if you really knew I did all those things? What were you going to think about me? What I learned is that people could love me for who I really was. And you know who really exemplified this for me is a woman named Julie. So at work, imagine this, I had to pull in each of my coworkers that I worked with directly, and I had to tell them. After the shock and awe, every one of them said this: who's gonna tell Julie? And I said, I don't know. See, Julie, big-hearted, a little bit naive, like you could tell an off-color joke and she wouldn't get it, School teacher, conservative, little old-fashioned. When gay marriage was up for vote, she told everyone, I don't believe in gay marriage, and she was letting everybody know about it. So they were all really concerned. I imagine they're in the back room drawing straws. Who's going to tell Julie? And I remember exactly where I was standing when I found out Julie knew. I was at the front counter, and I was talking to my coworker, and all of a sudden I hear tap, 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 and I look, and it's Julie. She's running right at me, arms open wide, and she's saying, I'm so happy for you, and she throws her arms around me. I'm like, thanks, thank you. And in that moment, she broke me open in a way I needed so desperately. Instant healing. And that's why I can tell you this story. So here's what I want you to remember. That disruption did not come to harm you. It has come to heal you. And if you are delaying some truth, some disruption, know that it's going to come sooner or later. And if you're going through the disruption right now, maybe you lost a job, maybe you're going through a divorce, maybe you're having a health challenge, look for the gift. Look for the gift. Partner with the divine. Pray, meditate, listen to your guidance. It's there for you every step of the way. Find anything to be grateful for. It will nourish you and energize you as you move through this disruption. And lastly, most importantly, most powerfully, get community. Come here to Amani. We're going to love you. We don't care how or why you lost your job, right? We don't care if he was right in the divorce or she was, or, we're not into the drama. We're not into the condition. We are into love. We are here to support you, to be with you on the journey of disruption. no matter what it is, no matter what it looks like. Blessed be. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. That was a 3-tissue talk for me. Beautiful. Okay, now it is time for our joyful time of giving. And so this is our time to support this center, the Amani Center, to give of your gifts and tithes so that we can continue to do the important work that we do here, continue to come here on Sundays, to have our amazing speakers, to have our classes and our fun events. And so we're just so grateful for whatever it is that you are able to give. During the Great Pause, we've come up with a number of ways you can give online. So those are up on the screen now. You can text the word Amani to 44321. There's a donate button on all of our newsletters and e-blasts, as well as at theamanicenter.org. You can use your bank app and just set it out to come out automatically if you'd like. And you can also still mail a check to us. Our address is 2558, will you bring that next slide up, Kathy? 2558 Greenwood Lane, suite number D in Cameron Park, California, 95682. So you can drop a check in the mail. However you're able to give, whatever you're able to give, we just appreciate you so much. We really can't do this without you. Oh, and Kristen should be dropping a link, or should have already dropped a link that you can also use to give. So let's take a moment and do a spiritual mind treatment for the abundance of the center and for each and every one of us. So allow your eyes to close, receive a breath in, and just know that there is one power, one presence. It is universal love. It is opulent and abundant. It is everywhere present. It is acting in, through, and as each and every one of us, right now and always. And so this opulent love, this beautiful joy and abundance is here for each and every one of us in every instant of our lives. You can see it in the trees, in the leaves, the grass, the blades of grass, grains of sand on a beach, all of the blooming and growing that's happening in nature right now and always. This is just what God is, and it is here for us. We are one with it. So I know that the Amani Center is abundant, that everything we need to continue bringing this beautiful vision in our community and on the planet comes to us easily, effortlessly, and always. And I know this is true for each and every person in this room and hearing my voice right now as well, everyone in our community. We have only to turn towards this beautiful, amazing source of all good and say yes. And it flows to us beautifully, perfectly, abundantly, and easily. And so I know that we all are opening our arms and receiving this good right now. And I am so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to know how easy it is to accept the beautiful abundance of the universe and to share it and to be in this divine flow. And so I release my word into the law. I know that as I speak it, it can only manifest. It can only come into being in my life and in the world. And together we say, and so it is. And now ascension.
go. You are so beautiful, so let your spirit flow. We are light, we are love, we are peace. We are light, we are love, we are peace. We are light, we are love, we are peace. We are light, we are love, we are peace. In the warmth of the sun, in the cool of the moon, I feel it in my soul, and all I know is true. In the bliss of love, the smile upon your face, the light of children giving fills the world with grace. We are light, we are love, we are peace. We are light, we are love, we are peace. We are light, we are love, we are peace. We are light, we are love, we are peace. May peace prevail. May mankind live in absolute joy and happiness and prosperity. And may we understand each other with trust and affection. We are light, we are love, we are peace. Oh, we are light, we are love, we are peace. We are light, love, peace. We are light, we are love, we are peace.
Some love. Thank you. You guys did an amazing job today. And thank you, everyone, for joining us, for celebrating this beautiful center. Thank you, Mitch, for sharing your heart and being the demonstration. And so, yes, thank you. Great job. So if everyone will please stand, Ascension will lead us in the closing song.
The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. And I will meet you in grace.
Beautiful. Mitch, would you come up and do the benediction for us?
So let's just take a collective breath in and let it go. knowing that that has transpired here today has happened in the mind and the heart and the wisdom of the one life, the one presence, the one being, by whatever name you choose. It is active now in us, through us, as us. And I know that the nourishment of the music and the blessings of the prayer and the power of community and the seeds of the message go on to feed each and every person who has experienced this powerful service of love, of light, of grace. I release this word, and together we say, and so it is. Blessed be.